Hello and welcome. I am Gary Reaver, and today I'm going to be talking about the confirmed and hinted at details of Fallout 4 from the E3 Bethesda Showcase. There is quite a lot to get through, so I've split it into 6 sections. However, this is almost entirely confirmed details. There are some hinted at things based on art or other information provided. So to kick it off, character and setting. As people rightly concluded from the initial trailer, Fallout 4 will take place in Boston, Massachusetts. And, as was hinted in the trailer that I didn't believe, you will actually be able to play before the bombs fall as a pre-war couple. Well, technically you choose one of the couples. So the couple seen in the initial trailer, by the way, if you haven't seen my analysis of the trailer, that is linked in the description. You can completely customize both the man and the woman from the couple, and then you choose which one you want to play as. And although you don't need to customize both, depending on the customization you do, it generates the baby, seen in the trailer, based on the attributes of the couple you have. And in an innovative leap forward from New Vegas and Skyrim, there are no sliders, there are no of those bars to choose characteristics. You just choose an area of the face and alter it. So it looks like a much more interesting character creation screen. You are the couple seen in the trailer, which means you also live in the house seen in the trailer. And another confirmed thing is that you will be outside of the vault when the bombs drop, as also seen in the trailer, which I thought would mean you wouldn't play as them. But apparently, you are outside, but you do get in and survive the bombs. So the thing that I'm wondering is how exactly they're going to get you into the vault, because based on the distance the characters are from the explosion, that doesn't look more than a mile or two. If that, they're going to need to have a damn good reason for you to survive it, because nuclear blasts are kind of dangerous, so I hope they're not just going to have some sort of Deus Ex Machina allowing you to survive. The vault lift has also been confirmed, but there are separate external blast doors, so the lift is not the blast door as I theorized in the analysis video. Whichever of the couple you choose, you emerge from the vault 200 years after the bombs fall, which is approximately the same time as Fallout 3, so cryogenic stasis is all but confirmed, and with Vault 112 having the stasis pods in Fallout 3, and you being a resident of Vault 111, it's fairly conclusive that there will be stasis or some kind of cryogenic system to allow you to play as the same character 200 years later. The last confirmed detail about the setting is that you will be the sole survivor of the vault. So, gameplay. The most controversial gameplay aspect is, of course, the voiced characters. So they are completely voiced. Unfortunately, the dialogue seems to have taken a rather bad turn. Although it was the console version shown in the showcase, I doubt that the PC version will be very different. And it seems it uses a 4-button dialogue system. So you choose one of the 4 options based on a couple of words to summarize what that option is. And I hate this dialogue system. It didn't work in Mass Effect because you wouldn't know what you were going to say before you said it. And as with Mass Effect, this will have not a moral system, but a very relationshipy system with factions and karma. You don't want to say the wrong thing, and it's not going to be able to summarize what it's going to be saying in enough detail for you to know if it's the right thing you want to say. I'm very cautious about this dialogue system. I hope they do something to prove me wrong. However, on the plus side, there will be a proper dynamic dialogue camera, so it's not just you two standing stock still staring at each other while the dialogue's going on. The camera changes position, and most interestingly, you can walk away from any conversation without having to reach an endpoint. Also, another thing he mentioned is that you can pull out your gun and shoot them. So it looks like it's taking a page out of Westerado's book, which is something I'm looking forward to seeing. Another small thing he mentioned is that about 1,000 of the most popular names are voiced by at least one character. And while that's, nice for people with popular names, Garen won't be one of them. That's, in case you didn't know, that's my name. If you're going to go some of the way, go all the way. So into the actual gameplay, of course, there's the dog. You will be able to give him contextual commands to go to a certain place or pick up and bring to you certain objects. Also, this isn't confirmed, but I think the dog will be nameable, because earlier in the E3 trailer it showed the dog just referred to as dog, but later on it's called dog meat, so I reckon that the dog will be nameable. It's also been confirmed that the dog cannot die, and it's unclear whether this will be in the Fallout 3 way where all the companions are essential, or in the New Vegas way where some characters are essential, but the companions tend not to be. Perhaps the dog will be always. Moving on from the dog, VATS has had a slight change. It will no longer pause time, it will just slow down time so that it's less cheaty. The Pip-Boys also had a bit of an overhaul. Considering the amount of time you spend in the Pip-Boy menu, they've decided to make it a bit more interesting with animated images and even on Pip-Boy games. And this I am just face-palming over. I can't believe they spent time coding in mini-games into Fallout. But yes, there will be mini-games that you can play. They'll essentially be smartphone referential parody games that you can play on your Pip-Boy. In addition, there will be a second screen smartphone app to do with the Pip-Boy. They haven't given much detail about that, but that comes out when the game does, and presumably is just the Pip-Boy screen that you can access at any point, which could be quite good actually. Weapon and armor customization. This is sort of related to the Pip-Boy thing, so I'll just do that bit now. There is a layered armor system, has been confirmed, so you won't just have to put on one thing that covers your entire body. You'll be able to customize armor based on the part of the body you want to put it. The gameplay effects of this haven't actually been detailed, but it's a nice step forward for character customization beyond just choosing armor. The biggest thing for this, though, is the weapon and mod creation system. Now, every item in the game, and I mean every item in the game, will be formed of certain components like plastic, glass, etc. And you can then break down these items to create mods. So now every item in the game will have a purpose. And the first thing I thought of was, dear God, the hoarding. There will be so much hoarding, you will not want to throw anything out because you might need it later. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's something to be aware of. They've said that there will be over 50 base weapons and over 700 mods, all of which alter the weapon's stats slightly, so damage or weapon capacity or something. And luckily these stats seem to be simple still, so it's not taking the Blacklight Retribution way where it alters it by a fraction of a number. It all seems to be remarkably streamlined for such an in-depth customization system, so it does seem a lot more suited to a proper scavenging RPG. And yes, there will be moddable power armor. They haven't given much detail about that. Presumably it's based on the same sort of premise of components. And there also seem to be animations for putting the armor on, as well as an integrated power armor HUD. So, rebuilding and settlements. This was one of the biggest innovations they mentioned in the showcase. This is a system which allows you to rebuild the world in certain locations. You can break down anything in the game for scrap, similar to the weapon modding system, and the scrap will give you certain things like rubber, metal, wood, and you can use these to craft buildings and furniture. It does essentially look like Minecraft in Fallout, but it's something that Fallout has been lacking. You can sort of clean up the world and create several settlements. If you played Hearthfire in Skyrim at all, you'll remember the long lists of ingredients and the endless menu-based crap where you just go in and then stuff appears. It doesn't seem to be like that. It seems it's all in real time, just construct and deconstruct as you see fit, without the menus and faff. You build and place furniture, almost Sims style really. And your buildings lure traders and civilians, so they become full-on settlements that you can trade with and buy from, and you need to provide food, water, power, and connect everything with wires and cables, and it sounds like it gets incredibly in-depth. And as a Minecraft player, I'm really looking forward to this, because it'll be fully integrated and supported, really, rather than if it was added by any kind of mod. You can also customize electronics via terminals, and you can build turrets and lights, and you will need defenses because raiders will attack you. As I mentioned, there are multiple building sites, and you can have Brahmin caravans going between them. This sounds like a mechanic that I will spend a lot of time on. They gave no context for how early or late in the game you can begin this, but based on the images we saw, it's likely that you'll need to acquire certain player houses before you can actually do the construction and deconstruction. However, that's speculation because, as I said, they didn't confirm any context for that. Enemies. They didn't talk a lot about enemies. Mostly the things I'm going to be talking about here are based on images and video shown rather than anything they specifically said. So based on the video shown, there looked to be the super mutant behemoths returning from Fallout 3. They were something that were rather lacking in New Vegas. There weren't that many big enemies, whereas here we have behemoths, Deathclaws are coming back. It seems that they have a redesign. It's not an alpha male as I thought it was, it's just a Deathclaw redesign. As well as Deathclaw kill animations, which, although they sound like a good idea, no one will want to see them more than once, and they'll just become a rage quit moment rather than, isn't it nice that they animated this. Other things are the ghouls appear to be wearing clothes in this shot. But most interestingly, as far as confirmed enemies go, is androids. As Boston, or the Commonwealth as it's known in Fallout, is the site of the Institute, I was wondering if there would be any androids or synths appearing, and it seems that they do. In the video, a couple of different synth enemies appeared, and it seems that they will not be a rare or story-based thing. They seem to be part of the game itself, which is good. And before I go on to speculation based on concept art, I will just say that monsters will be able to emerge from underground. The two seen being able to do this are mole rats and rad scorpions, but I have no doubt that there will be lots more enemies that can emerge from underground. This is purely speculative based on images shown at the very beginning of the presentation. Here is what appears to be a ghoul in some kind of American Revolution hat uniform thing. I don't know a lot about the American Revolution, so I don't know if that's America or British. But with the location of the game being Boston, it's possible that this is just concept art as a throwaway thing to link Fallout and Boston, or whether there will actually be ghouls in this attire. It's not confirmed, just this one piece of art. Another piece of art that got me thinking is this one. It appears to be super mutants wearing some kind of scavenged power armor. That is terrifying if that turns out to be true, but it will add more difficult ones that aren't just bigger with more health. The final thing in this is this shot here. It doesn't really say much, but it seems to imply that there will be proper massive gun battles. Whether this is from a story mission or whether there'll be a sort of dynamic part of the world is of course purely speculation. Flight, the final section, and I could have lumped this in with gameplay, but I thought that this required its own section. I predicted, based on the trailer, that there would be rideable vertibirds and that vertical movement would be much more a part of the game. It turns out I was entirely right, but wasn't ambitious enough with it. So there is here shown a vertibird being called by smoke, and you can ride in it and man the turret. There's also concept art showing an airship here, as well as what appears to be air combat. Looks like there will be real-time destruction of airships and vertibirds, so they could be a common feature. However, the most interesting thing with this flight is a jetpack. The player is wearing power armor when they are jetpacking, so it's possible the jetpack will be a mod you can apply to your power armor. Even so, that is absolutely amazing, and I'm really looking forward to that. And that summarizes everything from the E3 Showcase. The release date for Fallout 4 has been confirmed as the 10th of November 2015, which is coincidentally 6 days before my birthday. Thank you very much for watching. I will do another one of these videos when there is another announcement revealing more about the game. I will also be doing one about Dishonored 2 later on, so check that out if you're interested in Dishonored 2. If you want to watch the full Bethesda Showcase, there is a link in the description. Thank you again for watching, and I will catch you later.